Elira stood tall on the shining platform in the middle of the crystal conclave. Her skin sparkled like clear ice under the bright lights of Valor Prime. All around her, thousands of Valori waited in perfect rows. Their bodies glowed soft blue, and their minds already touched each other in the great mind weave. Today was her coming of weave day, the day every young Valori joined the shared thoughts of their people forever. Elira felt nervous, but she also felt proud. She had trained for many cycles to make her neural lattice strong. Now she would open her mind and become one with everyone else. The High Elder raised both arms. His voice rang clear through the huge hall. "Welcome, Sister Elira. Step forward and offer your lattice to the weave." Elira walked to the center crystal. It was tall and smooth and hummed with power. She placed her hands on it and closed her eyes. She reached inside herself to the place where thoughts became light. She pushed gently at first, then harder. Her lattice started to glow. A thin silver thread rose from her head and reached toward the big crystal. The crowd made a soft, happy sound in their minds. Elira smiled a little. This was it. This was belonging. Then something went wrong. A sharp pain stabbed deep in her skull. Her thread flickered like a broken light. Instead of joining the smooth flow, it sparked and jumped. Static filled her head. Loud, ugly static. She tried to fix it. She pulled harder. The pain grew worse. Now the static poured out of her. It hit the big crystal and bounced back into the mind weave. Hundreds of minds flinched at once. Some elders stepped back. Others covered their heads. Elira opened her eyes wide. She saw shock on every face. The High Elder spoke again, but his voice was cold now. "Flaw. P." Elira tried to answer. Her mouth moved, but no sound came. The static roared louder inside her. She dropped to her knees. Her hands shook on the crystal. The elder turned to the others. "This one is unwoven. Her lattice is broken. She cannot join us. She will never join us." A wave of disgust rolled through the crowd. It hit Elira like cold water. She felt it in her bones, even without a full link. Her own mother stood in the front row. Her face was blank. She did not move to help. Her father looked away. Elira whispered one word, "Please." No one answered. The High Elder raised his hand again. "By law of purity, the unwoven must leave. She is no longer Valori. Take her mark of belonging." Two guards stepped forward. They were tall and their skin shone hard like armor. One grabbed Elira's arm. The other pressed a tool to her shoulder. Burned. A small crystal mark appeared, then cracked and turned black. The mark of exile. Elira cried out. The sound echoed alone. No mind shared her pain. The guards pulled her to her feet. They marched her down the long hall. Faces turned away as she passed. Some whispered, "Defective. Error. Waste." She kept her head high even as tears ran down her cheeks. They took her to a small launch bay at the edge of the city. A single survival pod waited there. It was old and dented. Inside there was only a seat, a small food pack, and a basic engine. The guards pushed her in. The door closed with a heavy click. Through the tiny window, Elira saw the planet she had always called home. It looked beautiful from up here. Blue crystals covered the towers. Light danced everywhere. But she no longer belonged to that light. The pod shook. Engines fired. She rose fast. The black stars appeared one by one. The silence came then. Real silence. No hum of minds. No gentle touch of family. Nothing. Just her own heartbeat, loud in her ears. She sat very still, her hands pressed tight together. Hours passed, maybe days, she did not know. The pod had no clock, only a direction set by the elders. Outer rim worlds, Far from Valor, far from anything perfect. Hunger started to bite. The food pack was small. She ate tiny bites to make it last. Thirst came next. She licked drops from the walls when the air grew wet. Her thoughts turned dark. Why me? Why this fracture? She had done everything right. She had studied. She had practiced. She had wanted to be good. But good was not enough. Perfect was the only thing that mattered. And she was not perfect. The pod beeped once. A warning light flashed. Red. Collision course. Something big lay ahead. Illyra looked through the front glass. A station floated in the empty space. It was ugly compared to Valor. Metal patched in many colors. Lights blinked in messy patterns. Ships of all shapes docked around it like insects on fruit. New Corinth Station. A human place. She had heard stories. Chaotic, dirty, full of short-lived creatures who fought and laughed and broke rules. The pod aimed straight for it. No way to change course. The elders had chosen this. A place so low, even an unwoven might survive there. Or not. Illyra closed her eyes. If she died now, at least the silence would end. The pod hit the station's outer ring with a hard bang. Metal screamed. Sparks flew. Alarms wailed inside the station. Illyra's head snapped forward. Pain bloomed in her neck. But she lived. An egg. Cold air rushed in. Voices shouted outside. Human voices, rough and loud. What the hell crashed into my dock? Get a cutter over here. Someone's inside. Illyra tried to stand. Her legs shook. She fell back into the seat. A face appeared in the broken door. A man with short dark hair and grease on his cheeks. He stared at her. His eyes went wide when he saw her crystal skin. Well, damn, he said it low. You okay in there? Illyra looked up at him. No one had spoken to her in so long. She opened her mouth. No words came. The man reached in. His hand was big and rough. Come on, let's get you out before this thing blows. Illyra took his hand. It felt warm, strange, alive. She stepped out onto the metal floor. All around her, humans ran and yelled. Tools clanged, lights flashed, chaos everywhere. The chaos felt better than silence. She looked back at the man who helped her. He gave a small nod. Name's Marcus. Welcome to the Fringe, kid. You look like you could use a meal and a place to sit. Illyra followed him. Her bare feet touched cold steel. Each step hurt, but she kept walking. Behind her, the broken pod sparked one last time, then went dark. Just like her old life. She did not look back again. Illyra stepped out onto the busy dock of New Corinth Station. Her bare feet felt cold on the dirty metal floor. All around her, humans and aliens rushed past. They carried boxes, shouted orders, pushed carts full of scrap. The air smelled of oil, burned food, and hot metal. Lights flickered overhead, some broken, some too bright. Noise filled every space. Voices, engines, alarms, laughter. It was nothing like the quiet, perfect halls of Valor. She pulled her thin exile robe tight around her body. Her crystal skin caught the light and made people stare. Some pointed, some whispered. One tall insect-like creature hissed and moved away fast. Illyra kept her head down. She walked slowly along the edge of the dock. Her stomach hurt from hunger. Her throat felt dry and rough. She had no credits, no tools, no plan. She needed food and water soon, or she would fall. Wrappers near a trash bin. She picked through them. A few bits of bread crust, some dried fruit pieces. She ate quickly. It tasted bad, but it helped a little. A group of rough-looking humans walked by. They saw her. One laughed loud. Look at the shiny one. Bet she breaks if you hit her. Another one threw an empty bottle. It hit the wall near her feet and broke into pieces. Illyra jumped back. Her heart beat fast. She turned and walked faster. She did not know where to go. She just needed to move. Hours passed. The station lights dimmed a little for what humans called night shift. Fewer people walked the halls. Elira sat in a dark corner, near some big pipes. She pulled her knees up to her chest. She tried not to think about home, but memories came anyway. Her mother's blank face, the black mark on her shoulder, the silence in her head. And slow, she wiped them away with her sleeve. A shadow fell over her. She looked up. It was the man from the pod, Marcus. He stood there with arms crossed. His clothes were covered in grease. He had a tool belt around his waist. He looked down at her. "You still here? Thought you might have found a ship out by now." Elira stared at him. She did not know what to say. Marcus scratched his head. "Look, you can't sit in the open like this. Folks here see weakness, they take advantage. Come on. My shop is close. Got a cot and some soup. No strings." Elira hesitated. She had no other choice. She stood up slowly. Her legs felt weak. Marcus turned and started walking. He did not look back to see if she followed. She did. They walked through narrow halls, past closed doors and sleeping beggars. Marcus pushed open a heavy metal door. Inside was a big room full of machine parts. Old engines hung from chains. Tools lay everywhere on benches. A small light burned in one corner. It showed a cot, a table, and a tiny kitchen corner. Marcus pointed to the cot. "Sit. I'll heat something up." Elira sat. The cot was old, but soft. She watched him move around the kitchen. He poured water into a pot, added packets of powder, stirred with a big spoon. Soon the smell of warm soup filled the air. It made her mouth water. Marcus brought her a bowl and a spoon. "Here. Eat slow, or you'll burn yourself." Elira took the bowl. The heat felt good in her hands. She ate one small spoonful, then another. It tasted like salt and something she did not know, but it was warm and real. Marcus sat on a stool across from her. He ate from his own bowl. He did not talk much at first. After a while, he spoke. "Happened. You crash in a Vamori pod. They don't just give those away." Elira looked down at her soup. She spoke soft. "I was rejected. My mind is broken. They call me unwoven." Marcus nodded slow. He did not look surprised. "Seen a few like you come through here. Folks who don't fit their own people's rules. Humans know that feeling too." Elira looked up at him. "You do not think I am defective?" Marcus shrugged. "Defective is just a word some use when they don't understand something. You got crystal skin and fancy mind stuff. That makes you different, not broken." He pointed to a machine part on the table. "See that scanner array? Humans can't tune it right. Too delicate. If you can help with that, maybe you earn your keep. No pressure, though." Elira felt something strange in her chest. Not quite hope, but close. She finished her soup bowl. "You can stay tonight. Tomorrow we see what happens." He turned off the main light. Only a small lamp stayed on. Elira lay on the cot. She pulled a thin blanket over herself. The room smelled of metal and oil, but it felt safe. For the first time since exile, she did not feel completely alone. She closed her eyes. The silence in her head was still there. But now other sounds filled the space. Marcus breathing soft in the next room. The hum of machines. The distant clang of the station. It was not the mind weave. It was messy and rough, but it was something. She slept deep, for the first time in many days. Morning came with bright lights and loud noises. Marcus woke her with a cup of hot drink. Black stuff, called coffee. It tasted bitter, but strong. He handed her a worn jumpsuit. Too big, but clean. "Put this on. Your robe looks like it will fall apart." Elira changed behind a screen. The jumpsuit was rough on her skin, but warm. Marcus took her to the main work area. He showed her a pile of broken scanner parts. "See if you can fix any of these. Your people are good with crystals, right?" Elira nodded. She sat down. Her fingers moved careful over the pieces. She felt the faint hum in her lattice. Not strong anymore, but enough to sense tiny faults. She pointed to one spot. This line is cracked. It will not hold signal. Marcus whistled low. Took me hours to find that. He handed her a tool. Fix it if you can. She worked slow. Her hands shook a little, but she did it. The scanner lit up green when she finished. Marcus grinned big. That's worth a meal and more. You got skills, kid. Elira felt warm inside. Not from soup, from being useful. Days passed. She helped Marcus more. She found hidden breaks in engines. She tuned delicate arrays. Humans came to the shop. They stared at first. Then they asked her to look at their gear. She did. They paid with credits or food or small gifts. She saved the credits in a small box. She bought shoes. They hurt her feet at first, but she got used to them. She bought a blanket for the cot. She bought soap that smelled clean. Marcus taught her human words. He laughed when she said them wrong. He showed her how to use tools. He told stories about Earth, old fights, big ships lost friends. He never asked about her past, unless she wanted to talk. One night after long work, they sat outside the shop door. The station spun slow. Stars moved past the big window. Marcus drank from a bottle. He offered it to her. She shook her head. He smiled. Smart choice. Tastes like engine cleaner anyway. At the stars. They looked different now. Not cold, just far. Marcus spoke quiet. You planning to leave soon? Find a better place? Elira thought about it. She shook her head. Not yet. Here is good for now. Marcus nodded. Good enough for me. He stood up. Come on. Early shift tomorrow. More junk to fix. Elira followed him inside. She lay on her cot. The silence in her head felt smaller now. Other things grew in its place. Work, warm food, a name that people said without hate. Marcus. She smiled in the dark. Small but real. She was still unwoven, but on this dirty station, with this rough human, she started to feel like she could weave something new, something her own, something that did not need perfection, just effort and time. She closed her eyes. Tomorrow would bring more work, more noise. Life, she welcomed it. Elira woke to the sound of Marcus banging tools in the shop. Sunlight from the station's fake windows came through the small door. It was not real sun, but it felt warm anyway. She sat up on the cot. Her body hurt less now. Days of work and good food made her stronger. She put on the jumpsuit. It fit better after she fixed the seams herself. Marcus looked up when she walked in. Morning, Shiny. Got a big job today. Wrecked freighter came in last night. Hull breach, but the scanner array is mostly good. Need your eyes on it. Elira nodded. She liked the work. It kept her mind busy. They took a small shuttle to the docking bay. The freighter was huge and broken. Black marks from laser fire covered one side. Workers in suits cut open panels. Sparks flew like tiny stars. Marcus led her inside through a torn hole. The corridors were dark. Emergency lights glowed. Red. Air smelled old and stale. They reached the bridge. The main scanner console sat in the center. It was cracked, but the crystal core still hummed faint. Elira knelt down. She placed her hands on the array. Her lattice stirred. It was weak, but she could feel the tiny flows inside. One channel blocked. Another line twisted wrong. She pointed. Here and here. Fix these, and it will work again. Marcus handed her fine tools. You do it. I will watch and learn. Elira worked careful. Her fingers moved slow but sure. She rerouted power. She realigned the crystals. When she finished, the console lit up blue. Data scrolled fast. Marcus whistled low. Perfect. Captain will pay good for this. They went back to the shop. Marcus counted credits. He split them even. Half for you. You earned it. Elira took the small chip. She held it. Tight. It felt heavy with possibility. She bought more things that week. a better blanket, real shoes that did not pinch, a small lamp for her corner. She even bought a book, old paper one about human history. She read slow at night. Words like freedom and choice jumped out. They felt new and strange. Marcus noticed her reading. He sat with her sometimes, told her what the words really meant. Not just dictionary stuff, but how humans lived them. "We mess up a lot," he said one night. "We fight, we break things, we hurt each other. But we also fix what we break. We choose to help even when no one makes us. That is the part your people miss, I think." Elira listened hard. She thought about the conclave, how every choice came from the group mind. No one chose alone. No one failed alone either. But no one won alone. Here, everything felt alone, but not empty. Marcus laughed easy with the other workers. He slapped backs, told bad jokes, shared drinks. They called him Cain, like family. He never treated her different. He teased her when she said words wrong. He praised her when she fixed hard things. One day a big human came to the shop. He had scars on his face and one metal arm. He needed his old nav unit tuned. It used crystal relays too. Elira took it apart. She found rot in the core. She replaced it with spare parts. When it worked, the man grinned wide. "Girl, you saved my run. Here." He pushed credits at her. Then, he looked at Marcus. "She yours?" Marcus shrugged. "She is her own. But yeah, she works here." The man laughed. "Good. Keep her safe. Folks talk about the crystal lady who fixes better than machines." Elira felt warm in her chest. People talked about her. Hate. With respect. Nights grew easier. The silence in her head stayed, but she filled it with other things. Laughter from the dock. Clang of tools. Marcus humming old songs while he welded. She started to laugh too. Small at first, then louder. One evening they sat on crates outside the shop. Station lights dimmed for rest cycle. Stars spun past slow. Marcus pointed up. "See that bright one? That is Sol, our old home. Long way from here." Elira looked. It looked small, but real. What was it like? Earth. Marcus leaned back. Green in places. Blue water. Crowded cities full of noise. People arguing all the time. But also singing, dancing, building things. We do not have a hive mind, so we make our own webs. Friends, families, crews. They are not perfect, but they are ours. Elira thought about that. Temple. My web broke. Marcus looked at her soft. Maybe it did not break. Maybe it just changed shape. You got room now for new threads. Your choice which ones to pull. Elira felt something shift inside. Not big, but important. She no longer waited for someone to fix her. She started fixing herself. Little by little, she helped more people. A trader with bad comms. A pilot with shaky sensors. A kid who lost his toy drone in the vents. She crawled in and got it back. The kid hugged her leg. "Thanks, shiny lady." She smiled real big. Days turned to weeks. She grew stronger. Her skin shone brighter from good food and rest. Her lattice still weak, but she learned to use what was left. She could feel small emotions now. Not full thoughts, but enough to know when someone lied, when someone hurt, when someone needed help. Quiet. Never told anyone. It felt like her secret strength. One slow day, Marcus came back from the market. He carried a small box. He set it on the table. "Open it." Elira lifted the lid. Inside lay a thin necklace. Simple chain with a small clear crystal pendant. Not Veilori make. Human cut. Rough but honest. "Thought it might look good on you," Marcus said. "Not fancy, but it is yours. No one can take it away." Elira lifted it out. She put it around her neck. The crystal rested cool against her skin. It caught the light and threw tiny rainbows. She looked at Marcus. "Thank you." Her voice cracked a little. He smiled soft. You are welcome, Shiny. You earned more than that. They worked side by side after that, like partners, not boss and helper. She tuned arrays, he welded frames. They talked about jobs, about life, about nothing. She told him bits of Valor, the beauty, the rules, the cold. He listened without judging. He told her about lost ships, friends gone bad days. She listened the same. The silence in her head grew smaller every day. It no longer felt like punishment. It felt like space, room to breathe, room to choose, room to be. One night after hard work, they sat again under the stars' window. Elira spoke quiet. I think I like it here. Marcus nodded. Good, because I like having you here. No rush to go anywhere. We got wrecks to fix, people to help, life to live. Elira looked at him, his face tired but kind, his hands scarred from years of work. She felt something new. Not the forced bond of her people, not duty or need, just simple liking, simple trust. She reached out, touched his hand light. He did not pull away. He squeezed. They sat like that for a long time. No words needed. The station hummed around them, messy, loud, alive. And for the first time, Elira felt truly part of something. Not because she had to be, but because she chose to be. She closed her eyes. The future felt open, not scary, just full of possibility. She smiled in the dim light. Tomorrow would bring more work, more laughs, more small steps forward. She welcomed everyone. Elira wiped grease from her hands with a rag. She stood next to Marcus in the shop. They finished fixing a small fighter's thruster array. The job paid well. Credits filled her small box under the cot. She felt good, stronger every day. The necklace Marcus gave her hung around her neck. It caught the light when she moved. A loud buzzer sounded through the station speakers. All docks attention. Valori diplomatic vessel approaching. All personnel clear outer ring. Repeat, clear outer ring. Elira froze. Her hands shook. Marcus looked at her quick. You okay? She shook her head slow. They came. They found me. Marcus put down his wrench. Who? The Conclave. They want me back. Not back. They want my body. To study the fracture. To cut it open and see why it failed. To make sure no more like me happen. Marcus' face went hard. That. Elira nodded. In the message pod they sent before exile. Unwoven are to be reclaimed for analysis. No exceptions. Marcus cursed low. He walked to the door. Looked out at the busy hall. People ran to see the big crystal ship dock. It shone perfect silver and blue, like a knife in the dark. Marcus turned back. You do not have to go. Elira laughed bitter. They will take me. They always take what they want. Marcus stepped close. Not this time. Not here. He grabbed his coat. Come on. We talked to some people. They walked fast through the corridors. Marcus knocked on doors. He spoke quick to friends. Mechanics, pilots, traders, ex-soldiers. Word spread fast. By the time they reached the outer ring, a small crowd followed. Rough humans with tools and patched armor. They stood quiet, but ready. The Valori ship locked to the station. A long ramp lowered. 3 tall figures walked down. Elira knew them. Elder Kalen. 2 enforcers in hard crystal armor. Their minds brushed hers light. Trying to link. She felt the old pull. It hurt. She pushed back. The elder stopped at the bottom of the ramp. His eyes found her right away. Elira Unwoven. You are required to return. Your genetic material belongs to the Conclave. Step forward. Elira stood still. Marcus moved in front of her. Big shoulders wide. He crossed his arms. She is not going anywhere. The elder looked at him like he was dirt. Human, this does not concern you. Move aside. Marcus smiled cold. Funny thing. It does concern me now. She works with me, lives with me, friends with me. That makes it my business. The elder turned to Elira. You allow this vermin to speak for you. Elira lifted her chin. Speaks for himself. I choose to stay. The elder's voice rang sharp. You have no choice. You are property. Defective property, but still ours. We will take you by force if needed. The enforcers stepped forward. Hands on weapons. Crystal blades glowed faint. The crowd behind Marcus shifted. Tools came up. Wrenches, pipes, shock batons. One big mechanic named Rico spoke loud. You touch her, you touch all of us. Another voice called. We got kids here, families. You start shooting, you hit more than one shiny lady. The elder looked around. He saw the numbers. Humans everywhere. Messy, angry, stubborn. His lip curled. You are primitives. Short-lived, chaotic. You think you can stand against the weave? Marcus laughed real loud. We do not need a hive mind to fight. We just need to decide we care. And right now, we care about her. A lot. Raised one hand. A signal. The ship doors opened more. 10 more enforcers marched out. Armor shining, weapons ready. Tension grew thick. Elira felt fear cold in her belly. But she also felt something else. Warm, strong. The humans around her did not back down. They stepped closer, formed a wall. Marcus looked back at her. You still want to stay? Elira met his eyes. Yes, more than anything. Marcus nodded once, then turned forward. Last chance, Crystal Boy. Walk away. The elders sneered. We do not walk away from what is ours. He gave the order. Take her. The enforcers moved fast. They pushed through the crowd. Humans met them. Fists flew. Tools swung. Metal hit crystal with loud clangs. Sparks flew. Elira saw Rico tackle one enforcer. The big man roared. Another human fired a stun gun. Square. He dropped, shaking. Marcus fought close. He grabbed an enforcer's arm. Twisted hard. Bone cracked even through armor. The enforcer cried out. Elira stayed back. She used what she had left of her gift. She reached out faint, touched the enforcer's minds. Not to hurt, just to confuse, show them flashes of doubt, of human chaos, of laughter in the face of order. Some faltered. One looked around lost. Marcus saw it. He grinned fierce. Keep it up, Shiny. Whatever you are doing, it is working. The fight grew wild. Humans fought dirty. They kicked knees, gouged eyes, used the station walls. Valori fought perfect. Trained moves, exact strikes. But there were more humans, and they did not stop. Even when hurt, they kept coming. One enforcer raised a blade toward Marcus. Elira shouted, No! She ran forward. The blade stopped an inch from her chest. The enforcer stared at her. His hand shook. Elira looked into his eyes. You do not have to do this. You can choose. The enforcer blinked. He lowered the blade slow. The elder screamed. Traitor! But it was too late. More enforcers backed off. They saw their own kind hesitate. They saw the humans still standing bloody but unbowed. The elder looked around. His perfect face twisted with rage. This is not over. He turned, back to the ship. The enforcers followed. Some limped, some carried others. The ramp closed. The ship undocked fast. It pulled away into the black. Silence fell on the dock. Then cheers broke out. Loud, wild human cheers. People slapped backs, hugged, laughed. Marcus turned to Elira. He had a cut on his cheek. Blood dripped slow. You okay? Nodded. Tears in her eyes. Not sad tears, grateful ones. You fought for me, all of you. Marcus wiped the blood with his sleeve. Yeah, well, you are one of us now, like it or not. Rico walked up grinning. He had a black eye already swelling. Drinks on me tonight. Whole station owes you, shiny lady. Elira laughed soft. First time loud and free. She looked at the crowd, faces she knew now. People who chose to stand with her, not because of duty, but because they wanted to. She felt the silence in her head, but it felt different now, not empty, full of echoes, of voices not linked but heard anyway. She touched the necklace, felt the small crystal warm from her skin. She looked at Marcus. Thank you. He shrugged. Do not thank me yet. We got a mess to clean up and more wrecks waiting. Life goes on. Big. Yes. Life goes on, and she would live it, her way, with these messy, stubborn humans, who taught her the best lesson of all. Rejection did not mean the end, it meant a new beginning. She walked back to the shop with Marcus. The crowd followed, singing bad songs, laughing loud. The station felt warmer now, more like home. She took his hand as they walked. He squeezed back. No words needed, just the promise of tomorrow. Months passed after the Valori ship left. New Corinth Station felt different now. People smiled at Elira when she walked the docks. They called her by name. Some waved. Some offered free coffee from their carts. She no longer hid in shadows. She walked tall. Her crystal skin caught every light and threw it back bright. The small salvage company grew. Marcus and Elira named it Fringe Fixers. They took bigger jobs now. Old ships from far systems. Broken drones left in asteroid fields. Even small station repairs when the big crews were too busy. Elira handled all the delicate work. She tuned crystal relays. She found hidden faults in power cores. She made arrays sing again when humans thought they were dead forever. Marcus handled the heavy stuff, welding frames, hauling scrap, talking to clients with his easy grin. They made good credits. Shop on the lower level. It had 2 rooms, one for work, one for living. Elira painted the walls soft blue, like Valor skies but warmer. She hung strings of small lights. They twinkled at night, like captured stars. She bought plants, green ones that grew in low light. They filled the air with clean smell. Marcus laughed when he saw them. You turning this junk heap into a garden. She smiled. It feels like home when things grow. He nodded. Fair enough. He even helped water them. They worked long days, but nights were quiet and good. They sat together on the small couch. Elira read her books. Marcus fixed small tools or just rested. Sometimes they talked deep, about what might have been, about what was now. One evening, Elira spoke soft. I used to think silence meant empty. Now it feels like room. Room to think my own thoughts. My own feelings. Marcus looked at her. You built that room yourself. No one gave it to you. She touched the necklace he gave her long ago. You helped. You all helped. The people here. They showed me I could choose. Marcus reached over, took her hand, his fingers rough from work, hers smooth and cool. But they fit together nice. I am glad you chose to stay. She squeezed back. I am glad too. More people came to her now, not just for fixes, for other things. A young girl with bad dreams. Elira sat with her, listened quiet, used her faint gift to share calm pictures, soft colors, gentle waves. The girl slept better after that. An old pilot who lost his partner. He talked for hours. Elira listened. She did not try to fix his pain. She just shared the space. He left lighter. A trader who felt alone in crowds. Him how to reach out small. A word here, a smile there. He started making friends. Word spread slow. The crystal lady who listens, who helps minds as good as machines. Some called it a new weave. Not forced, not perfect, just chosen. People linked with her gentle, shared thoughts like passing a cup of warm drink. No one dominated. No one got lost. They came and went as they wanted. Elira felt it grow, a web of her own making. Thin threads, strong in time. One quiet afternoon, a small group gathered in the shop. Rico the big mechanic, a pilot named Lena, two traders, a kid who fixed drones for fun. They sat in a circle, on crates and chairs. Alira in the middle. She reached out careful, her lattice hummed soft. She touched each mind light, not deep, just enough to share. Warmth, a picture of stars, a feeling of vapor. Safe. They smiled. Some laughed soft. Some closed eyes and breathed deep. When it ended, Rico spoke. That was nice. Like family, without the fights. Lena nodded. Better than any bar talk. Alira felt full, not from food, from connection. Real one. Chosen one. Marcus watched from the door. He leaned on the frame, arms crossed, proud smile on his face. Later, when everyone left, he walked over. You are building something special here. She looked up. I learned from the best. He chuckled. I just fix junk. You fix people. She stood, walked to him, stood close. We fix things together. That is enough. He looked down at her, eyes soft. Yeah, it is. They stood like that, close, quiet. The station hummed around them. Engines, voices, distant music. Alira felt the old fracture in her mind. It still hurt sometimes, on bad days, but it no longer defined her. It was just a scar, proof she survived, proof she changed. She lifted her hand, placed it on his chest, felt his heart beat strong. He covered her hand with his, big, warm, safe. They walked to the window wall, looked out at the scrapyards below. Twisted metal glowed under twin suns of the planet. Ships came and went. Life moved on. Elira spoke quiet. I was never broken. I was simply waiting to be free. Marcus turned to her, his voice low. Welcome home, Shiny. She smiled, big and real. Home. The word felt right now. She leaned in, rested her head on his shoulder. He wrapped an arm around her, gentle but sure. They watched the sun set slow. Colors spread across the sky. Orange, pink, deep blue. Beautiful, messy, perfect in its way. Just like them. Like this place. Just like this life. Elira closed her eyes. The silence in her head stayed, but it held no fear now. It held space. Space for tomorrow. For work. For friends. For her. She breathed deep, felt the galaxy turn around them, felt small, but not alone, felt free, and that was more than enough. The fringe kept spinning, full of strays and survivors, full of humans who took in the lost, turned rejection into strength, turned outcasts into family. Elira became part of that story, not as a broken thing, but as a new beginning, her own, chosen, real, and in the quiet moments, when the station slept, to the silence, to the pain, to the humans who stood for her, to herself, for staying, for fighting, for growing,